Welcome to Podcast Suck, a podcast about starting a podcast, where we dive headfirst into the wild, wacky, and sometimes frustrating world of podcasting. If you've ever sat down with a microphone, hit record and thought, what on earth am I doing? Or if you're just curious about the magic behind your favorite shows, then you're in the right place. Get ready for laughs, insights, and a whole lot of what not to do advice as we embark on this podcasting journey together. Let's dive in. All right, let's try this again. Because apparently, the last episode that I just got done recording had no audio. So, tip number one on this episode, check your audio before recording a podcast episode. I should know better. The podcast coach should know better. Anyway, new computer, software has its mind of its own, switching audio settings. Here we are, no excuses. The last thing I wanted to do, just so you know, is just record an episode that I just got done recording all over again. But we're doing it because that's what we do. And if I didn't do that, someone would miss out. So hopefully you can hear me. I'm going to text somebody real quick to make sure, because I just got a text that said it was really fun watching you sit there and talk to that microphone, but we can't hear anything. So here we are. Today I want to talk to you about borrowing my confidence. My coach Dan Martell talks about this a lot. He's very abrasive with his mastermind coaching clients, and I'm glad that he is. He's a hug with a slap on the back of the head, and for good reason. He talks to entrepreneurs and business owners like they need to be talked to and tells them the truth. And he often says, hey, today, borrow my confidence. I'm smiling a lot more. I got my braces off. For those of you tuning in and listening to the podcast, you have to go over to YouTube and see the live recording replay of this. We record this show live on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. What's up to everybody tuning in live? And those of you tuning into the actual podcast episode and listening, what's happening? I'm glad everybody's here. But yeah, got my braces off yesterday. So take it easy, ladies. Take it easy, okay? Anyhow, borrowing my confidence. What in the world do you mean by that, Sebastian? Listen, there's a rhyme and reason on why you haven't started something yet. Chances are, it's your bullshit excuses, number one. And number two, it's your lack of confidence. Somewhere along the line, you lost confidence. I'm not a confident person. I forgot my lines in the school play when I was in third grade and everybody laughed at me. Whatever it may be, now's the time to change the narrative. And the best way to do that, a good hack to do that, is to borrow someone else's confidence. I'm saying borrow my confidence because, well, I mean, I'm using me as an example right now. But whoever you look up to, whoever you admire, whoever, if you were like, I really like how they show up, if I could do that, well, newsflash, you're not going to do that because that's that person's thing. But you're going to do what you do, how you do it. You see, when you borrow somebody else's confidence long enough, eventually you develop your own. Lack of confidence, also referred to as fear. We've talked about this before when it comes to imposter syndrome, a made-up term disguised as fear. I'm telling you, fear will keep you stuck in places you don't want to be in. It will keep you and prevent you from ever getting started from doing anything. There's not a worse combination than fearfulness and lack of confidence. I know. You're afraid of sounding stupid, or nobody's going to listen, or all I'm going to hear are crickets. Just stop the nonsense and the excuses. You don't know any of that. You don't know who's going to listen. You don't know what crickets are where. You don't know who needs to hear what you have to say. And because you're sitting on the lack of confidence, full of fear sideline, someone's missing out. You hear me say this a lot. I say it in all my talks. I start all my talks with it, and I end all my talks with it. Because someone asked me this question 15 years ago, and everything changed for me. And that question was, who's missing out because you're not showing up? Who's missing out because you're lacking confidence? Who's missing out because you're living in fear? You don't know who is. You've got the knowledge, you've got the expertise, you got the business, you got all the chops you need in order to get started. The only thing missing is confidence. Friends, I'm here to tell you today, confidence is a choice. It is a decision. And until you choose it, well, borrow mine. Borrow somebody else's. I want you to imagine for a minute that you've been showing up like you for some 500 episodes that you've got under your belt. When you first started, you were shaking in your boots. Then you got a little more comfortable. Then an opportunity was created. Then a relationship was established. Then someone reached out to you with a compliment. Those are tough for some people too. I'll never understand that. Let me go on a quick rant about that real quick. When someone takes the time to compliment you for something you said or something you did that helped them, and you don't simply say thank you, I appreciate that, and I'm really glad to hear that it helped you. But instead, you decide to respond with some jargon like, no, well, I mean, people will like straight up not acknowledge the fact that someone's acknowledging them or giving them a compliment. You are blocking someone's blessing by not receiving the positive feedback someone's giving you. Let me repeat that. You are blocking someone else's blessing and joy by not receiving the compliment they give you. Sebastian, I love that episode. It really helped me think differently about this. You know what? I really appreciate you telling me that. That's why I do what I do, and I'm so grateful that it had an impact on you. All right, rant over with that. Someone pays you a compliment. Say thank you, okay? So, when you're borrowing confidence, you're not faking it. You're borrowing a belief system until your reps start to make it real for you. Real meaning you have stepped into your level of confidence where you're like, you know what? I got this. You know what? I kind of like this. You know what? I don't even know what I was ever concerned with in the first place. You got to start messy. Your first episode's going to suck. Everyone sucks. That's part of the game, part of the process. I go back to my first episodes 15 years ago. I want to cringe. My favorite filler word was awesome. I'd say it every other word. Awesome. Awesome. You'll probably never hear me say that word ever again because it's so top of mind and I'm so aware of it and it's so cringeworthy to me. We ain't going back, baby. Listen, you can't be great until you suck first, okay? You got to be willing. What's that quote? When's the last time you were willing to suck at something new? Great quote. We all have to start somewhere. Very rarely do we hit the ground running out of the gate going, man, that was awesome. There I go. There I go with the awesome word. Here's what happens when you lean in, okay? Number one, you build trust at scale. Trust in yourself, trust in your own confidence, trust from your community. You know what confidence feels like on somebody else. You know what it looks like. Think about what it looks like for you. You also become a magnet for the clients, deals, partnerships, relationships that you actually want. Stop chasing, start attracting. But that comes with confidence. That comes with your voice. When you finally realize, oh, this was never, ever, ever about being perfect. It was just about being present. Everything starts to change. It was never about being perfect. It was about being present. You may want to write that down. None of this is going to work unless you're actually willing to get started and believe in the power of imperfect action. We all start somewhere. We all start with the resources we have, with where we're at, and 9 times out of 10, it'll be messy. So what? But you not showing up, someone is missing out. And you're okay with that, and you could sleep at night knowing that, well, that's on you. I can't. And I'm trying to change all that. I'm trying to change the thought process that people have around that whole idea of sitting on this no confidence, full of fear sideline, just hoping. Hope's a terrible plan, by the way. It's important to be hopeful, but if that's your only plan, well, I hope it's all going to change. It's not going to change until you change. Nothing great is created without massive action. In fact, massive action solves a lot of life's problems. So if you've been thinking about it, writing about it, dreaming about it, talking about it, whatever it is, starting a podcast, writing a book, doing your thing, leaving that shitty relationship, quitting the job you hate, we got one shot at this thing called life and time. It's the only thing they're not making more of. What are you doing with yours? Are you leveraging it to become a better human being? Are you leveraging it to get your message out? Do you realize that your message and your content and what you have to share can change someone else's life? Do you realize that? We're all connected in this whole life experience here. But if you don't believe that, no one, and I mean no one else will. I want to make sure you're hearing me correctly. When we don't show up, someone misses out on our gifts. I don't know if I have any gifts. Well, there's the lack of confidence again. Control the narrative of this story that you're feeding yourself, because chances are story's not even true. And someone's missing out, including you. Start the thing. You know exactly what you need to do. You just need to do it. Borrow my confidence. Confidence is a choice. Until you choose it, borrow mine. That's all I got to share with you today. For those of you tuning in on the live stream over on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube, thank you. I appreciate you guys. We got a new partner of the show. My good friend Ryan Stuman owns CloserCapital. They help business owners and entrepreneurs get unconventional business loans for their business. If you can't walk into a bank and get a loan, and who wants to do that anyway? It's quite an excruciating process. The worst time to look for money is when you need it. So it's good to have a line of credit. It's good to have, maybe you need something for inventory, short term. Ryan and his team over at CloserCapital can help. Go over to podcastsuck.com/money for some more information and to apply. They do great work. They get you funded in no time. It's not a long, drawn-out process. We don't pick up the show with ads, but we do have partners, and we have people that come along and support us, and we support them back. So if you're watching this live stream, the link's available in the caption. If you're listening to the podcast, link is available in the show notes. That's the description of this podcast episode. If you've got feedback, ideas, thoughts, concerns about this episode or any episodes on the show, please hit me up on Instagram or Facebook. Shoot me a DM at Podcast Suck. That's podcast plural, 2 S's, Podcast Suck. And I do respond to each and every one of you lovely people. Listen, it all starts with a decision. And it starts right now. Borrow my confidence. Get started today. Until next time, friends.